Hey guys, Kaya, and welcome to the second part of the tutorial video for Battlefield 4, how to take down one of these choppers. The most useless way ever. Yes, I know, it's very annoying. Now, last time we learned about the most useless chopper in the game, Transport, which is, in my terms, the most useless chopper in the game, Transport. But this time we'll learn to the most annoyingest helicopter in the game, Little Bird. Now, little birds are just a quick tip from little birds. They are fast, high damage output, and have an incredible fast firing speed. Thank you, Ryan, for the message. Now, just before you know about little birds, they can be basically the most annoyingest by speed and can get around the whole map and kill everyone in a single shot, and they can get pretty annoying until you find out what their weakness is, which kinda defeats the point of being annoying. So, what is a little bird's weakness? Well, like other helicopters, little birds are also bigger by the side. Is actually really every single helicopter's weakness is bigger by the side. Now, little bird, like if I show you correctly, has his hitbox comes from all the way to here. Actually, if you don't notice their hitbox, it's actually here. This is their hitbox. It's pretty damn interesting. And it goes the same to here. So the reason why it's here and here is because if you walk forward from here, if you get clipped, that basically means it's little bird's hitbox. Thank you, Ryan, for a message, but still, yes. Another thing about the hitbox with little bird is this one right here. So this is the front bit of the helicopter. So this is where this is where the few things line up on. And the back bit lines up to, I think it's here. That's the back bit. That's how far the hitbox is. So basically, yes, the front, again, like the others, the hitbox is still bigger on the side. But how do they attack and how do they count as offensive? Now, little birds, like its cousin, the Transport, can get a repairing energy on its side. So the repairing energy is basically a person that helps them out and repairs the helicopter even if it's flying. Like the Transport over there. Now, little known tip about these guys is that they have one useless passenger. Their co-pilot. Now their co-pilot is basically a person who just sits in the front and be's the dummy for the pilot. Because really, he's just going to get shot. And people are going to overreact and realise they've shot the co-pilot. It's really funny when that comes to terms. But little birds are also going to be predators of the sky. Unlike Transport, they can get lock-in missiles. Now these lock-in missiles, tracking missiles, or anti-tank missiles, or anti-air missiles, or smart rockets, if you look at them at a different angle, are pretty good to take out air. Really, these are noobs' first weapon that they will use for fights. That's how you can show they're a noob. But they're good to take down the flares. If you got a person who's on standby with like a nice little stinger, that's the main reason why you want something like a little bit. But this tutorial isn't how a little bird should be used. It's how you can take down a little bird in a certain situation. Now, little birds are fast, but the defense comes against them when it comes to, well, I would say damage. I said damage output, it's really good, but that's because of its fire rate. Little birds don't do actually much damage if you look at it. They actually do quite little damage. It's just they got so much bullets that it looks like they've killed you in one shot. Now, even though their bullets have like an explosive type pattern, they can still not take out a few. It takes a few, like, about a few hits, but their firing speed makes it look like they're really dangerous. Okay, so you've learned how they're very dangerous, but if you look at them, their speed comes to their disadvantage. They are incredibly fast. Now, they also have a quick stop time as well. It's very interesting. So, how does it come to their disadvantage? If they're incredibly fast, and they can put out a small bit of damage but in high rates, and able to be very annoying, how does it come to their disadvantage? Well, technically, if transport travels, people can fly at their own speed. Well, with this as well as they can as well. But people are always flying at full force when it comes to the start of games and when it's causing to travel at point to point. So people are never ever flying like at their well, I would say like something like they are never flying at short speeds. They're always flying really fast because they know if they stop, they're screwed. So they have to keep flying at a really good pace. It can really make itself a disadvantage. Let me show you here. Now, its hitbox is quite small. It's smaller than the other choppers, a lot smaller from its side, but it's not megally huge, even though you can still thingy. But there's one little problem. So if that speed is always at max speed, how does it attack? Yeah. Well, technically, all normally pros and noobs probably do know this, is to slow down when they've got their target. They'll slow down at a certain speed, like mid-speed, and then start firing on them, or bomb run them, like this. And when they've done that, they pick up speed again, and they start doing whatever they do. But if they're fast and people know if they know how to calculate their speed, what else do they do? Well, if you haven't played much against a little bird, I don't know how you don't know this, but they would circle you. Now, little birds are incredibly fast, and circling their opponents technically comes in handy. They would pretty much go up and down and change direction, then pick the right opportunity to bomb run you. Or they'll just basically try to pick you off while circling you, which is quite annoying. But how can this calculate to your advantage, or get into your advantage of way? Well, technically most people do this now. So you begin to learn how to actually counter this. So you want the first is to lure them out. You want them to seem that you're weak. And the best way to do that is by tricking them. And tricking them in a way of defeat. So basically running away, cowering behind blocks, that would get him to, he knows that he's weak. Well, may as well bomb and run him now, because he's going to die. That's when you pull out your little weapon, this small. When he goes to bomb and run you, his big disadvantage is his bottom. As his long tail, as you can see at the back there. And when he bomb and runs you, he can't look face down. If he looks face down, he's basically dead. So they look technically diagonally down and try to pull themselves up at the last second. Now, that's what people normally do. So when they do something like this, they always try to make sure that they are stopped in your way. And as well, they only can shoot facing forward. So this technically comes into your advantage as well. So they've got to be facing you to kill you. So you've got to keep out their line of sight at the job. So when it comes to bombing on you, what you want to do is make sure you trick them. Trick them by using a smoke grenade. Flashbang kind of works. Juking them. Dodging them. Or you can damn right just blow them up in the end. Or just take it like a man, which would never work. So let's just go for the first few options here. Smoking them. Smoking them isn't really the best idea. Really, once you smoked your area, you basically can't see him and he can't see you. that's more like an escape plan than a takedown plan. So smoking them doesn't really count as a thingy, but it technically gives you off the hit list. Takes you off the hit list. Ooh. Flashing them, in your case, is dangerous for you and him. There's a small chance that you'll be flashed and quite a good chance he'll be flashed. But like I said, it's a small chance until they're in a helicopter. So if flashing and thingy doesn't work, what about dodging and juking? Now, dodging and juking are basically the same thing. I like just to call them different because they sound different. But it's basically moving out the way of their bullets. Now remember, they have to be facing you to kill you, right? And if they can't face you, they've got something wrong. They have to turn around. Well, like I said, they've got really good turn speed. Comes in their advantage. So but they have to stop and turn, slowing down their good speed. That's when it's good for you to attack them. Ow. So when they slow down and try to turn around, it's basically good. Some people are smart and begin flying away and turn back and begin a long circle around, which kind of counteracts this idea. But again, like I said, it's not really a smart idea even for them. There's enough way how to take these guys out. By slowing them down, yes, but like I said, that depends on his movements. There's another way. Like I said before, the most common way to take down one of these helicopters, by making him shoot you like rapid fire. If you manage to dodge his barrage of bullets, now I know you can easily move around his bullets like this, like if you just do this you can actually snake his bullets, but he has to slow down for that, so it's not really a smart idea. So if you manage to dodge his bullets, get it at the right moment when he's flying above you. That's when you expose all his hitbox, and then aim your rocket up and fire when he's at the right moment. Now, like I said before, I didn't really say this before, your rockets count on predictions. That means your speed and where they are. So if they're close to you, shooting them straight where they are is pretty much useful. But if they're far away, shooting them delayed is pretty useful in that point. So you have to delay it no matter on the speed of the rocket and also how far away they are. So if you've got something like a small, for example, and you went to shoot something like this, you've got to delay it at the right time to take them out. I never get that right. Okay, but so if they're going to slow down, they're pretty fast, right? They have to be facing you. When I pretty much said this comes into your strengths. If they are not facing you, you're in their blind spot again. So that's when you can small them. Small them when they're in their blind spot. If you can hit them while they're not, basically you basically did the next step, which is tanking their bullets. Tanking their bullets is basically coming off with survival when they run out of ammo and they charge you face first. This is not a good idea for them. If you look at them compared to the other choppers, they have a really big front. Well, not a really big front, but they have a really rounded front, and that can become very disadvantage. And they also have that one small dot. So if you look at this dot here, this is the dot that you want to be aiming for when it comes to if they're going to charge you face first. That dot is basically the dot that you want to hit. If you practice enough, you can actually hit the dot. If you just like practice with your friends, they fly around you, do that stuff. That's and they charge you. If you aim for that dot, make sure you hit that dot. Because if you hit that dot, it's going to kill the helicopter. I've just realized what I've made. Let me just switch into this pilot right here. I've made a crocodile. Out of all that, I have made a crocodile. Well, welcome to the art of war.